Hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to be learning how do we add a column into a data frame, as well as how do we add a row to the data frame. Okay, so let's get started. First, we'll talk about how to add a column to a data frame. Okay, there are two ways or three ways of adding a column to a data frame. The first one being what I'm going to be showing you right away. Okay, so the data frame that you see on my screen here is a data frame named as product. The row indexes are using the default row indexing, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means a labeled row index was not specified. Whereas the column names are PID, PName, manufacturer, unit price, and quantity. Okay. Now, in this example, I'm talking about how do you add a new column named as supplier to this particular data frame. So it's going to be the last column that I'm going to add, and I'm going to be supplying certain values. Okay. So how do I do that? I write product square bracket supplier. We know very clearly that if I say print product square bracket, instead of saying square bracket, I would keep saying of. So product of supplier, it would mean display the column supplier. Okay, but the column supplier doesn't exist here. What am I doing? I'm adding a new column. So I say product of supplier. So remember, whenever the term of supplier is used, it means it has a square bracket and the supplier word is a part of the square bracket, is equal to, and can you see A, B, C, P, Q, R, X, Y, Z? These are the elements or the values that will be shown under the column called supplier. What you need to realize here is this list has 6 values and the data frame has 6 rows. The number of values here should match with the number of rows in the data frame. Otherwise, it will give you an error. But for some reason, let's say a particular supplier, I want to leave it as blank. Then what I could do probably is, instead of writing a ABC here, I could write np.nan. NaN stands for not a number, basically an empty value. But if I'm writing this, I need to remember that I have to import the NumPy module. So in my program, I would have to write import NumPy as NP. Is that clear? So you could leave something blank, but the number of elements that you specify should match with the number of rows. Okay. And what happens if what is my output here is you will see that the column called supplier gets added and all the elements that I have specified in the list becomes a part of the supplier column. Is that clear? Okay. Now, what if I want to add a column, okay, which is not a specific value, but it's a calculated value. And the values from which it is calculated is already present in the data frame. For example, here, I want to add a column named as total, okay, to this data frame. And the value of total is going to be calculated as unit price into quantity. How do I go about? Almost the same lines. I say product of total is equal to product of unit price multiplied by product of quantity. So for the first row, unit price is 25. Second, the quantity is 5. So the total will be 25 into 5, showing you 125, and so on. And that's how, if you see, I've got a new column called total and the values are there. Okay. Now, whether it's the previous method or this method, if you refer, instead of adding a new column, if you refer to an existing column of a table, okay, suppose I said product of total is equal to, but total was already existing and it's not a new column, then in that scenario, what happens? Does it show me an error message? No, it will go and update that particular column. So this method can be used for an updation of a column also, if the column exists, and if the column doesn't exist, then a new one gets created. Now, in both these examples, we saw that the new one created is the last one. What if I wanted a particular column to be the second column or the third column? Then in that case, is there any mechanism? Yes, we can make use of the function named as insert. Now, this function takes 3 parameters. The first parameter being the location where you want to insert. The second parameter being the name of the column that you want to insert. And the third parameter being the list of values that would appear under that particular column. Okay, so in this example, I've written product.insert 3 because that's the location where I want to insert. Supplier is the name of the column and the list of values under supplier. And now if you see, Supplier is not added at the end. It's added at index location 3 because PID has index 0, PName has index 1, manufacturer has index 2, and supplier gets the index number 3 in terms of column indexing. Is that clear? Okay. What if I want to add more than one column? Yes, you could do that using the previous two methods, but you'll have to write it separately. You'll have to write two insert functions or product of two of the new columns. But you could also do it by making use of a function named as assign. But you need to remember one thing is the assign function does not update the existing data frame. It takes the existing data frame, inserts the two new or three new columns that you want to insert, and gives you a new data frame. I don't want that. I want my existing data frame to be updated. Then what do? I will just explain to you in terms of a number. For example, let's say A's value is 10. And if I say A plus 1, it doesn't mean I'm changing the value of A. I've taken the value of A, added 1 to it, making it 11. So I've got a new value, but it hasn't updated A. That's exactly what is happening here. When you say product.assign, it takes the old data frame, adds the new columns, and you've got a new data frame. The old data frame continues to remain there. But if I had written A is equal to A plus 1, what happens is it takes the value of A, adds 1 to it, making it 11. So the new value is 11, which I put it back into A. So I'm updating A. Same is the case here. You need to write this line, product is equal to product.assign. Okay. And you give the first column name, the list of values for the first column, the next column name, and the next list of values for the next column. So what exactly happens in this scenario is both these columns get added to the data frame. Okay, but by default, remember, just writing product.assign, remember, will not change your product data frame. You have to say product is equal to product.assign. So the new data frame created is again pushed into the same old variable name. So you're updating the data frame called product. Okay, now let's talk about how do you add a row to a data frame. Now, if I add a row to a data frame, I make use of the property called LOC, which we have seen before. If you wanted to access a specific row, we make use of the property called LOC. So now, before that, look at the data frame very carefully. It's the same data frame. It does not have a row index. It has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next row, I want it to have index 6. Okay, so I write product.loc6 is equal to, so I'm talking about a new row with index 6. This is the default indexing also, but because there is no name given by, we have not given a index label, we are using the default indexing is equal to, and you wrote the product ID, the product name, the manufacturer, the unit price, and the quantity. Okay, let's assume, okay, assumption, let's assume that the index, this is not the index, this is the index. Okay, then in that scenario, what I would write is, I would write product.loc, and the new product ID is the index, right? Let me say I write P112, okay, is equal to, and you give the list of values. But now in the list of values, don't put in the product ID because now product ID is no more a value, it's the index. So that I've specified here. And you give the new list of values, the list of values gets added because LOC basically works with index labels. But because we don't have an index label, we are using the, what do you say, the default label. Clear? So what exactly happens is as follows. You will get a new row in your data frame with 6P05, sanitizer, Dettol, 180, and 10. Okay. There's another way of adding a row to a data frame is by making use of a function named as append. But in this scenario, the new row that you want to add, okay, the new row that you want to add is stored in a dictionary. So basically, what am I doing? I have a data frame. I am just adding the contents of the dictionary to the data frame. But one thing you need to remember is the keys present in the dictionary should match with the column names. Only then will the respective values go under those particular column names. For example, if you see here, I have created a dictionary named as new row, and the keys are PID, which matches with PID here, PNAME, which matches with PNAME, manufacturer, unit price, and quantity. Now, when I say product.append, this is the dictionary that I want to append to my existing data frame named as product. So what happens is P11 appears here, sanitizer appears under product name, and so on. Okay. And automatically this gets the indexing 6 because I do not have a labeled index. So therefore the numbered index or the positional index comes into play. Okay, now what is this ignore index is equal to true? This is a must. Okay, this parameter is required if you're adding a dictionary to a data frame. Why? To understand that, let me just explain something. Suppose your dictionary did not have this. Sorry, not your dictionary, your data frame did not have positional index, and it had a named index. So this was your index. Okay. Assume this is your index. Now when I add, so obviously if that was my index, this wouldn't be a part of my dictionary because the PID is not a value. It's just an index. So I would be having from PNAME, sanitizer, manufacturer onwards. Okay. So suppose I add sanitizer and manufacturer as Dettol, and unit price as 100 and quantity as 3, what would be the PID here? Because it's a named label. It could be anything. It could be P7, P4, P013, whatever. So how does the computer know what label to take? So it's confusing because I don't have a label there. And you cannot have, half of them having named label and the remaining half having the positional index labels. So for that reason, what exactly happens is when you see ignore underscore index, this indexing gets ignored. Which indexing? The labeled indexing, okay? The named indexing. The named indexing gets ignored and the newly created data frame only has positional index because positional index is very easy. If you have from 0 to 5, the next one is automatically going to be 6. And that is what this is talking about. That if your data frame already has a labeled index, that has to be ignored when the new, when the new element is added to the data frame, and it automatically takes the positional indexing. Another important thing, like the assign function, the append function does not affect the data frame directly. It creates a new data frame. If you want it to affect the original data frame, we write product is equal to product.append. So what happens in this scenario is that the new data frame is created and it's stored back into the old one, updating the old one. Is that clear? Okay, so I hope you understood what ignore index is. If the data frame's indexing will be ignored completely, and it will only take automatically the positional indexing. Now, some might ask, but what if I wanted some kind of indexing? We know how we can add new indexes, using the index property. We could have added new indexes also. Or in the next video, you will learn how to rename indexes. So you could even rename the indexes. Okay, so I hope adding of a new column and adding of a new row is clear. In the next video, we will talk about how to delete rows and columns, or how to rename the indexes of row index as well as column index. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. Okay, bye. See you in the next video.